Hi everybody, got an interesting story for you. I want to talk about when I came back to competition because when I competed in pumping iron, I was 23 years old, and then after that, I ended up doing the Incredible Hulk TV series. So I haven't competed for 17 years, and the diet back then was basically protein, fish, eggs, and some carbohydrates, and then I had a certain size factor. I was like maybe 275 pounds. But it's interesting to how the training changed over the years as far as like doing more cardio, eating more. Like for example, instead of having 3 meals a day, maybe eat 4 or 5 meals a day. So your body assimilates more of the protein. So it was interesting, after the course of many years, while doing the series, then I ended up doing the other film. So one morning I woke up, I said to myself, I said to my wife, I said, I want to get in the best shape of my life. I want to compete one more time because it was unfinished business for me after pumping iron because, the contract was over, Arnold retired, and then everybody expected me to compete the following year, which I couldn't do because of the Incredible Hulk. And I felt like I never really reached my full potential at that age. Anyway, if I kept competing, I would have probably won the Olympia maybe 8 or 10 times. But fast forward to many years later. So about 16 years later, I made the announcement that I'm going to come back to competition through at the time, the WBF, whatever. So everyone told me you're competing against the 70 bodybuilders back then, but you have to compete against the 90s bodybuilders because I can't come back in the same condition, 232 pounds, because guy in the 90s were weighing almost like the same body weight, like the height of 5'8", 5'9". So what I did, I changed my diet, and I said to myself, I'm going to prove them wrong. So I learned to develop the hunger to compete again. That's the most important thing, is the hunger to compete again. If you don't have the hunger, forget about competition. You gotta want it so bad that you have to just go after it. So anyway, my diet was eating 4 times a day, 5 times a day. I increased my calorie intake. I did a lot of cardio, and I trained heavy up to the show instead of training down. The old days, you train heavy. Then when you go on a severe diet, you lose size, but you get cut, but you lose size, sacrificing size. But this time, I didn't have to sacrifice size. I just trained heavy, and I started to put muscle thickness. And I got my weight up to 315 pounds, almost 320. And when I stepped on stage, I was the biggest guy in the competition, the biggest in the history of bodybuilding. And even though I didn't really win the competition, but to me, it was that I fulfilled that vision, knowing that I was going to go after it, that I would come back and compete and look like a 90s bodybuilder. No one ever came back after retirement longer. I've done 17 years. But the interesting thing is about the diet is changing, that the cardio, the increase the calories, and the different attitude that you can almost add on muscle. So I got to the point I added on 50 pounds of more muscle because I trained almost a year and a half, and apparently had to do with ligament tendon strength. But at the age of 42, I proved them wrong.